everyone, and welcome to the Black Corner. So glad that you could join me today. I am trying to do these more regularly. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get to a place, I swear, where I'm doing them once a week. It's crossed. Anyway, so on today's Black Corner, we are going to highlight Jan Ernst Matzeliger. Jan, Jan, Ernst, E-R-N-S-T, Matzeliger, M-A-T-Z-E-L-I-G-E-R, or Matzeliger. I'm not sure which one. I am sorry. Anyway, we're going to highlight Jan Ernst Matzeliger. Jan Matzeliger was born September 15th, 1852, in Dutch Guinea. He settled in the U.S. in 1873 and trained as a shoemaker. This is going to be very interesting. Jan Matzeliger worked for several years to learn English. As a dark-skinned man, his job options were limited. Being dark, and it was 1873, you're going to experience the same thing as every other darker person was experiencing. It didn't matter if he came from Dutch Guinea. He was dark complexioned. So anyway, he did work several years to learn English. As a dark-skinned man, his job options were very, very limited. He actually struggled to make a living. When he settled in Philadelphia. He couldn't find a job because he was black. He was black. So in 1877, he moved to Lynn, Massachusetts to seek work in the rapidly growing shoe industry. He found a position as an apprentice in a shoe factory. He learned the trade of cord waning. Okay, and we're going to learn this together. Let's say that. So cord waning involves crafting shoes almost entirely by hand. So that's how they did it back in the 1800s. They crafted these shoes by hand. Now I'm going to explain to you how they crafted these shoes by hand. So cord waners would make molds of the customer's feet. They called the mold the lasts. So, you make the mold. The mold was called the last. And they would make the mold with wood or stone. Remember, this is the 1800s, so the mold was with wood or stone, and that was called the lasts, L-A-S-T-S. So the process of shaping and attaching the body of the shoe was done entirely by hand. It was called the hand lasters. I know this is all going to be very confusing. And that was the difficult stage. So basically, you would make a mold of your customer's foot using the wood or the stone. Then you would shape it according to the size of the foot. And then you would attach the shoe portion to the mold. And this was, again, all done by hand. So each shoe, you had to do this whole process. Sounds quick, but I imagine it's not, especially if you're making a mold out of wood or stone. Wow. So Matzeliger set out to find a solution because it was just taking too long to make one pair of shoes. So he came up with a design for the machine so that the process didn't have to be done by hand. Go on, Jan. So on March 20, 1883, Matzeliger received a patent for his machine. The machine held a shoe and pulled the leather around the heel and drove in the nails. Who knew? It sounds like, wow, no kidding. Like what? Y'all were making molds from wood and stone and then going back and then shaping it according to the person's shoe size, and then you were putting by hand the leather over the mold and then nailing it and gluing it all by hand. And Jan Matzeliger was like, oh, hold on, this is taking way too long. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a machine, and this machine is gonna take care of all of this for us. So he did receive a patent on March 20th, 1883. Again, it was a machine that held a shoe, pulled the leather over the shoe, and then nailed it. He nailed it. So he was able, with this machine, the shoe industry was just a flutter because they were able to produce 700 pairs of shoe a day, 10 times more than using the human hands. Go on, Jan. Come on with your bad self. Come on. So they formed a company to manufacture this device because it's the device that was important. So the company, used the patent to make these machines so that they could sell these machines to different shoe stores and stuff so they could make the shoes. Unfortunately, Jan Matzeliger died of tuberculosis on August 24th, 1889. So when did we say he got the patent? Because he passed away shortly after he got the patent. He got the patent in 1883, and he passed away in 1889, so just 6 years later. After he passed away, the shoe machine company acquired his patent. And unfortunately, Matzeliger did not enjoy his successes because, it wasn't like this company got off the ground and started making so much money. It takes years before you start enjoying the fruits of your labor. So unfortunately, he died before he could fully enjoy the success. He died at the age of 37 years old in Lynn, Massachusetts. And in 1991, there was a Black Heritage stamp created in honor of Jan Ernst Matzeliger. And that is the Black History fact for the Black Corner. Please come back soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.